Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, guys? We got a party going on. Andre, Jack, Coach Paul, what's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Wow. New all-time highs print, NASDAQ, real quick.
New all-time highs here in the markets. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. We're just going to jump right into it because we have markets moving. If you're wondering why we're all here, we got a little earnings watch party. Meta, Microsoft, Apple, and Starbucks. Got to mention Starbucks there. All reporting their earnings here. We got Meta up here on the top left chart, seeing a pretty big sell-off here in Meta. Microsoft selling as well. I got Nvidia on the bottom right just because Nvidia. But who has these numbers? What are they? What are we looking at right now? Looks like some stuff
I have
already.
Google. Sorry, it's my first time here. Yeah, Google spiking after hours. It is trading, gosh, so many things went up 17 bucks, 6.2% after hours, after a beat up nearly 3 points today. Earnings per share came in, big beat, 2.87 per share versus 2.27 expected. Revenue 102.3 billion versus 100 billion expected. Their capex for the Q3 was 24 billion versus 22.4 estimate. Good for Nvidia. Cloud revenue beat 15.16 bill versus 14.75 bill. Google off the races, came down a little bit since then. Traded as high as 290. That's what I got for Google for now.
Is Meta getting smoked right now? Because their numbers are not so.
Meta.
Yeah.
In advertising, Meta is getting what's the right word? I was about to say something I shouldn't have. They're getting smoked. They're flip side of the coin. They are down nearly 8% after hours.
Yes, they are.
Microsoft getting dumped as well. Let me see if I can find the Microsoft earnings. They beat on earnings per share, $4.13 versus 366 expected. Pretty good beat. Revenue beat too, 77. So I'll see as things come out. There has to be something else there. We're doing these in real time.
I like these charts. This is cool.
Thanks, guys. We got a little bit of an audio issue, but I think we should be fixed now. Jack's audio is good. But again, you might be wondering why, again, we're covering all of these earnings. These companies are some of the heaviest weighted companies in the equity indices that we trade. We did have the NASDAQ make a new all-time high right there after the close. So again, as these stocks go, the markets are going to go as well. So it sounds like pretty good numbers here. Kind of mixed numbers, I guess, Jack, right? Meta.
Yeah.
Anything else? We got the Microsoft, we got Google, we got Meta. Okay, those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones.
Yep.
Sorry,
what about Starbucks?
I'm right.
Oh, who cares?
Starbucks and what? Chipotle? Late and eBay. What's that? Yeah, again, tale of two. Jack, I'll say, earnings season for the Mag. I mean, hasn't exactly been spectacular, would you say? Netflix and
it has. Let's put it this way: Jensen wasn't talking yesterday like somebody who's going to miss the earnings when they go. So Tesla kind of missed. Microsoft didn't miss. The expectations must be high, unless there's something about like cloud computing or something. Whoa!
What do you got? What do you got?
Meta earnings. Good.
Those are not good.
Moogly.
Yes, Meta, bad.
Get ready for this, guys. Yep. They are maybe the first victim of overspending, kind of like they did in the metaverse. EPS, if I'm reading this right, $1.05 versus $6.67 expected.
What was that?
Yes.
Let me make sure that's not a typo.
I saw that as well, Jack. $1.05 when estimates were $6.03 year over year.
Wow.
That's why I was like, is Meta getting smoked? That's a big miss. That's a doozy. Again, one more time. What's Meta? Okay. What was Meta trading?
Guys, so they beat on revenue 51 billion versus 49 expected or something like that. But what the hell are they spending their money on? I guess they really were paying $1 billion for AI engineers and God knows what to Nvidia. That's horrible.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. How much down is Meta right now, Jay?
Meta is down about 10% right now. Down about 10%. At the close, it was trading $750. It is trading $699. So down about 7%. At the low of that move, it was down about 9%. Made a low of $685-ish dollars. Yeah, that looked
Could we
pretty.
have new lows for the day here soon?
Oh, I thought when Paul said we ain't cutting rates, so it's not so fast. Cutting rates in December, I thought for sure.
Trying to sort through this. Good
We
God.
did just make an all-time high in the Nasdaq, right? 26,380 is that all-time high. We're 200 points off of that
Yeah.
right now. About 200 points off of that.
It did.
I think the street got Meta earnings, and Microsoft not looking too hot right now either. Microsoft trading
eBay.
down about 3%.
Who cares about eBay?
I will if I need to sell some stuff after Meta there. What?
Oh, Facebook
Well-
Marketplace. Wait, no,
Yeah.
not anymore. Not anymore. Let's take a look. ES after hours trading 69.14. Jay said Nasdaq did tap on some new all-time highs. 26,000. I call it 380. Pulled back about 100 or 200 points. I like that. What are we looking at here? Is any chart rallying?
Google.
Google holding up a little bit
I
here.
know it too. Absolutely.
Google did spike up to about 7.5%, trading $286 right now, up about 4%. And again, if you're wondering why, does anyone have the weightings? Let me take a look to see if I could. How heavily weighted are these companies in the Nasdaq?
Google's like 8%.
Here we go. I'm pulling this up here. All right, so we got Microsoft is 11.29% of the Nasdaq. We got Google 5.19%, Meta 5.12%. So again, if you're wondering why we're talking about some of these things, Microsoft number 3 weighted company in the Nasdaq, only Apple and Nvidia higher, 11.2%. So again, as Microsoft goes, when we got mixed results here. Google holding up a little bit better, but Google less of a weight than Microsoft and Meta. That's why we're seeing the Nasdaq sell a little bit here.
Well, yeah, that Meta number is scary because that's exactly the kind of number we were worried about, right? When you see, like, what we're seeing there is this crazy CapEx eating
race.
way into earnings. And remember, Meta's trading $700 now, trading $750 earlier. It was below 100 just a couple of years ago because Zuckmeister tried to do the exact same thing. He was dumping all this CapEx into the metaverse. That is a wild number.
Now,
I'm shocked we're not selling off more in Meta, especially, but elsewhere in the Nasdaq.
I know, man.
So here's a question, right? Earnings season, especially big tech earnings season, is really just getting underway. Do you guys think we see more numbers like this, or is just Meta an anomaly right now?
I think we have Apple and Amazon tomorrow. I believe after the bell.
I don't foresee it. I mean, with Apple and Amazon,
it's a warning sign to the other ones. They have that big of a hit. That's going to make some people nervous.
Jack, who else is in this AI arms race like Meta is overspending? Who other companies would be? I mean, is Apple? I know they're starting to get into the game a little bit. We're talking billions of dollars, but
Meta was always going to be the most precarious. As I said, Zuckerberg's done this before, but I mean, it's Nvidia, Google, OpenAI is private. It's all these companies, all the big seven. The least exposed, I would think, would be Apple and Amazon.
good point.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about that number.
Can they smooth it over in the call earnings call? They can smooth it all over. Good point in the chat.
They can try, but I'd have a lot of questions if I owned that stock. I mean, this gets into personal opinion, but Google seemed to do it all right.
That's what Paul, you're saying the same thing. Like, where else will we see this? Not Google,
especially at all-time highs. It's going to make some people nervous. What's their competitor?
Who?
Meta.
Meta? Google, all the advertising, they're all advertising companies. Yep, Meta,
Yeah.
Amazon, again, Apple and Amazon tomorrow.
And Amazon's laying off what, 30,000 people?
Yeah, there's AWS. Jay, I saw you put that. There's AWS outages today.
Yeah, it happened again. I guess it wasn't as widespread as it was
So
before,
nervous
but there were
listening.
there were a bunch of companies reporting, just some outages or delays with AWS. I was talking to my brother who works at a smaller company named Akamai, and he said they question whether or not they should use Amazon infrastructure because of the issues. But of course, Amazon, one of the biggest company in the world, they just got to get their stuff together because that can't keep happening. Can't keep happening. But yeah, pretty much the entire world runs on Amazon. So we'll see if they even mention any of that tomorrow during their call. Google, these are Google all-time high prices. I think that's the only one out of the three that we did see all-time highs in. Jack, have you digested this number at all?
I'm at a loss. I'm trying to.
He's trying to. Yeah, it's a typo. Is it?
No, it's not a typo.
I know it's
but
not. It's not. Yep. Okay, we got the earnings call. Earnings call. We'll be following this up at the bottom of the hour. We got Meta earnings call. Bottom of the hour here. Microsoft and Google will be in another hour and a half. So keep an eye on that for the reopen. Don't forget, President Trump and Xi will be meeting this evening, right when Slow Markets is coming to a conclusion, Jay. But thanks for letting us crash.
Oh yeah, absolutely, guys.
Party, man.
Thanks for
Appreciate it,
joining.
Paul.
Yeah, well, glad you're here.
I mean, what a Paul, new all-time highs tomorrow. What do you think? Nothing's gonna stop this party, man. Nothing stops this thing.
Well, it's a better than even chance. It could happen tonight.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
I don't. This Meta number really concerns me.
got some better news on it. It looks like what they're saying is that like there was a $16 billion one-time expense, which without that their EPS would have beat. What is this expense? Like what's happening here?
Yeah, I'm excluding a one-time tax charge. Net income, 18.64 billion, excluding that one-time tax charge. What is that charge?
It's a very good question.
Is that? Yeah, it is a good question. I'm trying to think.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
help us out.
Not an insignificant amount of money.
No,
Not
it's
at all.
not. I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the administration, right? Something like that. I'm not certain. Oh, the European, is that what it is? Donation? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Interesting. Trump tax.
That's what I was thinking. That's my first place my head went to. Be careful if you're trading NASDAQ. Very thin. Slippage. Very likely. So, yep. Jay, we'll see you on Slow Markets later.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
For that.
Thank you guys for joining, Dre. If you wanna hop out,
Yeah.
again, all-time highs and 200-point sell-off in the Nasdaq. Welcome to At the Buzzer, everybody. If this is your first time joining,
Yeah.
special edition here, earnings call edition, because we have Meta, Microsoft, and Google all reporting earnings. Shout out to Starbucks as well. But Jack, Andre, anything you guys got before we go?
Starbucks, get out of here. I'm good. I'm hungry. I'm getting some Chipotle. I'm hungry.
All right, man.
They did. I saw like Starbucks is going to have AI help their baristas. That's not a joke. They're trying to get in there.
Come on, just
They're going to spend 50 billion on capex. I don't know. This is all crazy, but that was a wild one.
Look at the Starbucks chart.
guys?
It's
Thanks
up
for
about
letting us-
it's up 2%. Shout out to
Thanks for letting
Starbucks.
us join you guys. Listen to these guys, man. These guys break it down better than anybody. They'll see you Slow Markets this evening and tomorrow, though. Thanks for letting us jump on, fellas.
All right, guys.
Well, glad to have you. Thanks for being here.
Well,
Later, guys.
Later.
Have fun.
All right. Go sell your Meta stock.
All right. Wow. Okay, there we go.
Wow.
Coach
That
Paul,
was
what's up, man?
Well, here we go. What is that big blue stick?
That is the daily chart in Google. That's the Google daily chart.
How
All-time
much
highs.
more money can they bring in?
I don't know. I do not know. But let's get into the the charts. Welcome everyone to At the Buzzer. If this is your first time here, I'm Coach Jay. That is Coach Paul. The goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some experiences, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. I'm going to get our Topstep X charts up here in just a second, and let's go through what happened in the markets for the day. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
It's like every time you have a party,
At the
the
end.
cleanup afterwards is always a mess. But say that
What
one more time.
FOMC meeting?
Yeah, right. What FOMC meeting? Almost didn't matter. All right, let's take a look here. Switch over to Topstep X, and we should be good to go. All right, so we usually start with the news. We had a rate decision today. Fed rate decision cutting rates by 25 basis points, which was pretty much priced in. Everyone expected. So the Fed did not give us any surprise at all there. But afterward, we, of course, get the Fed press conference, and we heard Chair Powell say that the December rate cut is not a foregone conclusion. It's not a guarantee that we are going to see more rate cuts in December. And that was pretty much the main headline from that. Coach Paul, anything else you want to talk about on the news for the day?
On the news for the day, I think also, anticlimactic with Fed Powell. But tonight's, or just in a few hours, Trump and Xi will be meeting. I imagine they'll try and throw some bullish headlines out. A lot of big, this meta miss, I think, is big news, no matter how they say it. Other than that, we buckle up for tonight and news coming out of Asia.
Awesome stuff. All right, so let's get into the charts then. There are 36 different markets we could trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had the Ultra Bonds down 1.24%, natural gas down 1.89%, and micro Bitcoin down 2.45% for our biggest percentage mover to the downside. I got to check on our Bitcoin whale to see if they got short again. It's been my favorite trade. Heating oil up 1.21%. RBOB gasoline futures up 1.34%, and live cattle, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 1.99%. To talk about our big four, we had crude oil up 0.35%, the S&P down 0.17%, gold down 0.71%, and the NASDAQ by way of Omaha up 0.15%.
I didn't know you sang country songs.
I learned that from somebody on screen here. But
You
yeah,
could be the next Charlie Pride.
right. The equity market's pretty much unchanged, which is maybe what you expect on a Fed day, but let's break it down. I got a NASDAQ chart up here, Coach Paul, on a daily. What are we looking at here?
Oh, that's the third. On the daily, it looks pretty bullish.
Yep.
Now this, not much of a range considering all the news that's coming out. Really, most of that, half of that range in the NASDAQ came after an announcement from Google. But where'd it go?
Right back to the middle.
That let's watch this today's low tomorrow.
Yep.
That what is that, a doji?
That is, I think, what they call a
Shining
doji.
star?
I think what chart pattern is this, chat? What are we looking at? What kind of candle formation is this? I would say it's a doji. Pretty much closing.
Let's ask yes, a doji.
There we go. Yes, it is a doji.
Doji at all-time highs.
Where
Let's
have we
keep
seen
an
that
eye on
before?
that. The way I would mark it is today's low.
Yep.
If we settle Well, on a daily, if we settled below that, we could pick up some steam. But Doji at all-time highs. That's concerning.
Yeah, a little bit. Remember those 3 daily dojis we had? A little bit different context, but the 3 daily dojis we had in February before that
Yeah.
major sell-off. I don't think we're in the same situation here, but let's see. We got a conversation about a trade deal supposed to be happening tonight. Let's see if we come to a resolution on that. But I would agree with you, Coach Paul. This chart is extremely bullish. We haven't taken out a prior day low in 5 days, 6 days. Yes, or today's low is 26.49 quarters. So I'd mark that price out. Just watch how the market trades around there tomorrow. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here. And pretty uneventful. I think this is exactly what you would expect kind of coming into a Fed day. Off the open last night, we did have a nice spike. You call it uneventful. This is still a market that's making all-time highs, right? 26,379.75 new all-time high in the NASDAQ. What are you looking at in this overnight, Coach Paul?
Oh, it wasn't urgency, but had really good buying, or maybe it was lack of selling. But Asia came in. I mean, who wants to sell it?
Right.
We didn't find any sellers. Interesting. Without any volume, there was a decent amount of volume, but yeah, whatever came out of Shanghai, was it Shanghai that it broke out?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central. That's when the volume really started to pick up and leave that range to the upside, making an all-time high. We got a little bit of a pullback. We kind of held view up the rest of the session, and then we got into the New York session chop.
And we did chop very well. For those of you who do good in choppy markets, you got your dream today. But let's bring up our volume point of control from last night.
All right, let's take a look at a volume profile from last night. Go to right here.
And, you know, one thing that stands out to me is there's balance up here. Today it was a very neutral day. Probably hit volatility. That to me, this it starts making that doji make more sense. We've had a rate cut today. We've had the earnings of the big companies. Tonight, we have Xi and Trump talking. From right here and looking at that volume distribution at all-time highs, it's not very, to me, very impressive. Kind of lackluster. I'm suspect of this market here. Look at today's point of control, volume point of control. Can you get any more flat than that?
Yeah, right. Pretty much a flat line, which is kind of to be expected, right? When we were talking during the opening call, right? Not expecting too much as far as directional price action goes, with the Fed meeting coming up, and we closed right in the middle of the range. So yeah, I think we consolidate, we trade in this range for a little while, and we did see size trading in this range. There were a couple thousand lots in the S&P that got filled on the offer. There were some 500 lots. Someone was playing around with 1,000 lot in the NASDAQ in the same range as well. So there was volume that traded in this range. It just was not directional volume for right now. Maybe accumulation of a position in this range for whatever that next move is. But yeah, pretty balanced price action, even with this sell-off after the print.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at
So
Go ahead.
I think tonight we could see I think we could see some action tonight. If this is my feeling, technically, if, if we look at the half hour and put the 20 and the 50 moving average on quickly.
Yep, they're up here. 20 and 50 moving average.
They're very so now more evidence of balance at all-time highs. So if they cross, we could pick up some steam and get a nice little correction going. I just think of that as a rocket that's been sky high, starts to slow down, kind of like a baseball. Once it reaches its climax, it can start bringing its momentum to the negative side. So I'm really I'm going to be involved tonight. We can break that low, or we see that cross hold. I think we can pick up steam to the downside. Just the way I see it.
Interesting stuff. We got a 20 moving average, 26,254, 50 moving average, 26,238. That is on the the 30-minute chart. The one thing I'm going to be paying attention to, of course, we can see how can we trade this, right? One of the things we say all the time, Coach Paul, is, well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Dakota for a really nice short right above what was the all-time high at the time. I took a similar trade in the S&P, so I'm going to go over to the S&P. Something that we talk about a lot, and this was one of my only trades for the day in a personal account that I took, but I took a short. Actually, that's not even the right candle. It was right on the open. 69.50, right? 69.50, whole number level. We've never traded 69.50 in the S&P before. And this was, looking for a trade prior to the Fed, so I don't have to trade the Fed craziness. And we have a major level here. And Coach Paul, we talk about this all the time. What is the market's response to these whole number levels? And if we look just at the regular trading hours, we had price trade above those 69.50s, but volume didn't, right? We have view up from this session, which is this red line, never crosses above 69.50. Price does, so it's kind of empty price action up here. I did take a short up here, 69.50 half, and not looking for a huge move, right? Looking for, let's get a base hit because I don't know what the Fed is going to do. But I really do like that trade with the context of the day, right? If I'm expecting a range-bound market until the Fed comes out and we're making all-time highs, one of those two things don't align. So then I have to think, okay, which one of these makes more sense? Are we just going to continue to break and make all-time highs, or do we see price just advertising higher, but there's really no volume behind the move, so we should get a reversion trade? In hindsight, I hold that trade for 100 points or 60 points, or however, 60 points from that high in the S&P, but I don't know that that's going to happen, right? So I have to trade what's in front of me, and I took the 13 points out of that trade and was able to lock it up. So we want to try to do something repeatable, and I think in that case, that was a pretty good trade setup. The other thing we do all the time, Coach Paul, is mark out that news candle.
Yes.
And this one here, where we say it all the time, and people ask, how do you trade the FOMC day? How do you trade this crazy volatility? How do you trade CPI? Any of these major prints that have the potential to move the markets? And I think the answer is you don't trade it before it prints, right? You let the market decide, and then we see from there. And what if we consider this an opening range trade, right? Where the entire market is going to wait, and it was actually more volume than the open, or close to was actually so the Fed candle was the highest volume candle outside of the open all day, right? So if we just consider that an opening range trade, what trade do we have here, right? It's okay. We get the Fed print, we close outside, risk goes above the other side, and it's a decent short, right? And instead of trying to guess what this, and honestly, Coach Paul, this was a pretty muted response to the print. I think the market already knew what was going to happen. The big reaction came to the press conference.
And we've seen that now for a while. I don't know. It's the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the projection going forward, because as we knew a 98% chance of a 0.25% rate cut, we got it. Now, looking forward. But I like what you did there. That's the news candle.
Mm-hmm.
So on days with FOMC or news in the middle of the day, everything up to that point becomes muted. It's fragmented. It's really kind of a new session,
Yep.
especially with the anticipation. And it was rather muted. I mean, for an FOMC day, this was not that dramatic, but the news came out and it couldn't break out of that range to the upside and was with that VWAP like that. That's hardly bullish. Like you need some for VWAP to curve up, right? You'd have to have some volume of buying.
Right.
Wow. But we did get a J trade.
We did.
Didn't we?
It wasn't exactly at the low, and again, it depends on what time frame you're looking at. But I think marking out this press conference candle, we'll call it, is, and we can do it on a 30-minute chart. This 30-minute candle, is one of the highest volume 30-minute candles we've had all month. That range of that candle is 69.42.5 down to the low of the day, which was 69.05.5. Right. I'm just mark this candle out. If this is your first time joining At the Buzzer and you're wondering why we do this, we'll just look at market's response to some of these candles in the past. Right. Here's another high volume candle. When we close above it, this is what Coach Paul has deemed the J trade. Right. We get a high close above high volume. The idea is we're long above this high and risk goes somewhere on the other side of the candle. So this is now just the next iteration of that candle for us, right? And you're basically anchoring to an event, right? What was the event? Fed rate decision. The market is showing you its response to that Fed rate decision. And then if we get a close above, then yeah, we're probably pushing all-time highs. But if we can't see any volume trade above this candle, Coach Paul, then we might be seeing a little bit of that pullback that we were looking for.
Yeah. If it doesn't, yeah, we could have continuation. And that seems to me, my spidey senses, this feels like it could really get hit tomorrow. It's like I said, the momentum's not there, but that kind of volume on the half hour, that's telling you something. This either is profit taking or new shorts. So it really has to close above that candle to really get its momentum back.
I mean, we already saw a reaction to that high on the earnings print, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that the market stopped where it did up here, because we need to convince some new buyers up there, and they're just not showing it yet that they want to close above those prices. So yeah, keep this candle marked out. We'll probably talk about it more on the opening call, but even if I trade tonight, I'm going to be looking at this range. Well, I will be trading tonight. I'll be on Slow Markets with Dakota, but be looking at the range of this candle in both the NASDAQ and the S&P. Really quick, let's take a look at the Russell, because we've been taking a look at the Russell recently, and it's one of the equity markets that is struggling, not making new all-time highs, actually selling off in all of this. Little bit of a different story. It is still holding the 20-day moving average. But if you were looking for an equity market to short, and again, anything we talk about here is not financial advice, for educational purposes only, the Russell's been that trade. Why is that, Coach Paul? Why do we think that is?
That Rusty is weaker?
Yeah.
So they could buy more Google. No, right. It's actually, I think it's being spread. The profits are, and the money are going to the Magnificent Seven.
Yep.
By leaps and bounds. Rusty is 2,000 stocks that are mid-market stocks, I believe they're called. They're not the stars. So they don't, their earnings aren't dramatic. They're, and they're 2,000 stocks. So also there is spreaders. What do I mean by spreaders? You can spread it for margin. You get a good margin. You can sell Rusty and buy Nasdaq, and profit on the difference. And this one, you make money on the sell side and the buy side.
Yep.
Now there are institutions that do that. I mean, it's not uncommon. There used to be an index called which, by the way, a little learning's time.
Story
The
time.
first stock futures index was the Kansas City Value Line.
Okay.
It was at Kansas City Grain Exchange. And the Kansas City Value Line index had a tax spread against the S&P that the institutions used to trade on certain dates. And really, it would be like November 1st through January. I don't know if this is the new spread. I don't get into the weeds that deep, but it seems to me that we picked up momentum on this, and there could be tax spreads there. I don't know. I'm a technician, but we've seen this before when the NASDAQ is ready to roll up. Rusty gets hit. And man, they didn't get hit today. This is second day in a row we've seen this.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Just had to take a quick look at that. And also just real quick shout out to the Dow that did make a new all-time high as well. And then selling after the Fed rate announcement. All right. Let's see. Do we got any questions on the equities?
Well, one person in Kansas City, what? Kansas City Value Line. Start Googling or ask Chatty G. I don't know if it's around anymore. But there are certain tax spreads against different indices that big institutions will trade against at certain times of the year. And this could, something's falling.
Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Also, if this is your first time here at the Buzzer, let us know where you're watching from. If this is if you are a first-time viewer of At the Buzzer, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you like what we're doing here. But also let us know where you're watching from. Shout out to Kansas City. Let's take a look here and if you're not a first-time viewer, I'm gonna know. But you could tell us where you're watching from too. We appreciate you being here as well. Orlando, Florida. Nice. All right, Coach Paul, gold here. What is going on with gold?
More liquidation. Now we've been staying under this 20-day moving average for 3 days now. We're not seeing responsive buying. Still above the 50. I think we'll see some support there. And that looks like it's real close, but how many dollars is that away? Is it like $50 away?
From the 50-day moving average, we are still $125 away.
It's a day away.
One day.
But we'll see. This 20 is starting. It's starting to turn a little bit. And look at the average true range. It's starting to flatten out after this meteoric rise.
It did just tick up though.
Yeah,
it did just tick up. $110.90. 110.90 is the daily ATR in gold. Today we had a pretty much right at average daily ATR day, 112 points high to low. I think they finally broke it. Are we seeing market structure shift here? We were looking at the weekly chart, Coach Paul,
Mhm.
and I think it's important to bring this up. We still got a couple days left in the week, right? Still 2 days left, but a candle close here, I think, is an official 3-bar reversal, where we would be closing below the highest volume weekly candle we've had maybe ever in gold.
Yeah,
And this could
I would
be
say ever.
a J trade to the downside, right? That high volume at the highs, we get a close below it on the weekly. We could see a lot of room down here in gold if we don't find some buyers soon. If I was a buyer, you can buy it off these lows, but I really do want to see. I'd want to see a weekly close. The weekly has to close above 40.10. The weekly has to close above 40.10, or gold is probably going to be in trouble on a higher time frame. Let's take a look.
Well,
Go ahead, Coach Paul.
with that said, Coach, on a higher time frame, it's investors,
Mm,
right?
right.
We're traders. This is dramatic
Yeah,
to us, but
true. Good point.
investors seeing that are like,
They welcome it.
yeah, I'd say I bought it at 2,000. I doubled my money, and it's this
Give
kind of
it.
structure. This will not go down gently into the night. This will be blood in the streets. And that's what I'm. That's what I feel. I just. That's a double top on a weekly.
Yeah, double top on a weekly. This red line that I have up here now, that is the yearly VWAP in gold. Yearly VWAP in gold, 34.57. So, like you said, Coach Paul, as an investor, if I'm somewhere under 3,000, I don't even care. Maybe I took some profits up at these highs, but we could get a 20% pullback. It's interesting that 20% pullback is right, pretty damn close to that yearly VWAP, and probably by the time we get there, if we get there, it'll be 20% off the high.
Now, going back to us as day traders, let's look at today's action on the half hour to see where we started. We had a big range last night,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a nice rally. Where did we slow down?
Where we've been slowing down this entire time. Chat, for any of our newer viewers, what is this white line on my chart? We are on a 30-minute chart. What is this white line? We've been rejecting every time we get up there.
Even near it. We don't even get.
We haven't even touched it.
And look at it broke pretty hard. It's the goal line. I like that.
This white line is the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. This is a simple moving average. We tend to look at it either on a daily or a 30-minute. But yeah, we have not even gotten up to it, Coach Paul. We were actually talking about this morning during the opening call, and one of the things we were saying was, we were looking long, but the target had to be the 200 moving average. And the concern, which has been the concern the entire time, Coach Paul, every time we get up here, price advertises higher and there's no volume behind that move.
Okay. Now with that, let us bring a volume profile. Just do it through but stop before we get to the highs. I just want to go slowly through it. Stop there. And where's the point of control?
Let's do a develop. Okay, so I was going to do a developing point of control, but it stopped developing. All right, here we go. There you go.
All right. Now it's okay. Move it one more half hour bar because we're getting close to the 200. One more. We haven't touched one more. One more. Keep the boom. What happened? It flipped to the upside. So now most of the volume or the point of control is now went to the top of the range.
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't get through the 200. All the king's horses and all the central banks couldn't buy it above it again. And look what happened when we closed below it the first time in the half hour.
Close below the volume point of control.
Yeah,
After the flip, which would be right
after
here.
the flip right there. That was quite dramatic, and it kept on going even when we started it. It finished near the lows.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. That volume point of control flip here, which basically means, and if we look at what VWAP did, right? VWAP stopped moving higher. So we met some sellers up here in gold. We either met some sellers or whoever was buying was getting out of those longs up in this range and didn't necessarily need it to trade higher. And we've seen this a couple of times now. Every time we take a look at that 200 moving average in
Oh, that is a
gold.
very bearish looking chart to
Yes,
me.
it is. Yeah, it is. It's been 9 days now under this 200 moving average. And again, every time we take a look at it, there has been selling. The pattern is the pattern until it breaks. The pattern is the pattern until it breaks. Are we going to maybe one day trade above that 200 moving average again? We can. Of course we can. And, there was a nice long into that 200 moving average. It's just if you're trying to buy it up here, it's a tough trade to take. Let's take a look at what would have been the opening range trade. Gold opens up at 8:20 a.m. Eastern time, 7:20 Central. Not gonna lie, we missed on this one. We missed a great trade. We've been waiting for a candle confirmation, and I think this was a case, and we have to take it. And I'm taking responsibility for some of this as well as being on the opening call with Hogan JD. I think our bias long in gold kept us out of the trade of the month for the house
Okay.
count, where we closed outside of that range. Not saying that we would have held this all day, right? But we closed outside of that 5-minute range. We did not trade back above it once we printed it. And once we closed and we waited for this candle confirmation. And one of the things I do want to point out is the adjustment that we've made to that opening range trade. We are waiting for a confirmation candle, which is a candle close outside of the range on the same time frame. So in this case, we had a 5-minute opening range, so we're looking for a 5-minute candle close. That adjustment kept us out of a long here that would have just ultimately gotten triggered out. How many times do you trade opening range trades and they just, false breakout? Oh man, this is going to be the one. It's going. Price is going above. Price is just an advertisement. Is there any volume? And here's VWAP from that opening range. There's no volume leaving this range to the upside. So price is going, but this is empty in a market that is right under that 200 moving average and in a downtrend. So even if you take this, as a range trader, you could say, hey, extension outside of the range, no volume to go with it. That's a decent spot to look short. Now, again, do I know that I could hold on to this trade for 100 points in gold, $100 in gold? Maybe, because that's the way gold has been moving, right? We've had increased daily ATR, so maybe that is your measurement. All we did was come right back down to where we opened. So there is a decent measurement there. Again, I'm not going to say that I would even hold this full trade, but the puzzle made sense here for a short. It's
It was
just a
a
trade
nice
that we
2
did
to
take.
1.
Oh yeah, definitely got a 2-to-1 if you wanted it.
But if, like you said, if to hold it that far, I believe you have to have that that in your mind when you entered the trade.
Absolutely.
And remember, we're day trading.
And again, I think that this is what I do like though is that although we had a bias to buy gold, we didn't lose money buying it. And that's important, right? For whatever reason, we all agreed and said, hey, you know what? We don't think this is a good sell. We want a long gold. Each one of us was wrong, but we didn't lose any money. And I think that's a perfect example of knowing when your bias doesn't align with what the market says and saving yourself some money. Because we could have tried to buy this entire way down. No, it has to go up, right? First, it starts off as, yeah, I think this is a good trade, right? It's going to go up from here. And then it doesn't. And then maybe you take it and you get stopped out. And you're just like, okay. I managed my risk on that one. That's fine. But gold is on a higher time frame uptrend. It's good. I'm just gonna buy it again.
Coach, I like what you said. Close above it at least.
Close above the range, right? Close above the range.
Close
Close
it.
above
I,
VWAP.
I've done. When I was younger, I first started trading was a price.
Yep.
Oh, that drove me nuts. How many times could it trade above that too? The longer your time frame, it could trade there. Like if in a half bar, it could trade above that for. I mean, it could 10 times, and you're getting in, you're getting out, and then it closes inside it, and you're like, by that time, you're tired out. But at the least, give the time factor is closed there. Then you have less fragmented information.
100%. We got some good questions here. One says, how long do you think the increased ATR for gold will stay for? Prices have to come down at this point for the ATR to come down. Um, because this $100 move, high to low in gold, it's only a 1% move. And it's like Coach Hoop just said in the chat, it's kind of liquid right now. We are seeing a thin spread in gold. We got to remember that we are seeing a market that is up 50% in a year. So prices would have to come down for that ATR to come down, in my opinion, because a 1% move just means a lot more than it did a year ago. And then there was another question. Why do you do this when Topstep stops trading at 310? Really wish they would change the stop time. I don't know that will ever change, but Coach Paul, why do we do this? And you might be a new viewer. I think that's a new name that I see in the chat. But why do we do this after the close?
Okay. First of all, it's day trading, and we used to call this curb trading.
Okay.
It's less liquid. It's people. It's people, not people, or trades that are after the official settlement close.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very thin and choppy. Number two is you need to be out. You're a day trader. They don't want to have to deal with people who didn't get out. Because then you have to put up margin.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't just Topstep. This, if you were anywhere, your broker will tell you can't stop trading if you had your private account. Because what is the margin now? If you get stuck and you get margined, now they have the entity will have to put up the margin and collect it from you. And if you don't have it, they're going to blow you out, and it's risk.
Yep.
But overall, the volume drops, and we saw how volatile it can get. You might look at that and go, wow, I would have bought it here and sold it there. I used to think that until you got in there, and it just doesn't go that way. You can start trading at 5 Central all the way to 3 o'clock the next day Central. You have 24 hours. Excuse me, 23. They're 22 hours to make the trade.
Yep. You got time.
I'm just going to tell you, it's not worth trading.
The other half of that question is, why do we do at the buzzer after the close? It is because we want to recap the markets, right? The more we recap, for anyone who's been joining us since we've been doing this in Discord, it's been almost 3 years now. They would tell you that we talk about the same things all the time. And the goal of that, right, and why we do it as a market recap when the markets aren't moving, is so we can develop somewhat of a technical approach to the markets. Now, you don't have to trade the same way as us. We're going to review the markets the way we do. And we've even added some stuff, right? We started looking more at a volume profile recently. But we want to develop a game plan and see that the markets do the same thing over and over, right? If somebody's been joining for 2 years, I have to say I appreciate the hell out of you because we talk about the same stuff all the time. The market's going to give us a different game, but I guess so does ESPN, right? Sports Center is always talking about sports. It doesn't change. The game changes. But if we have an idea of how we can look at the markets, then we can say, okay, which one was presenting what we measure all the time. So, whatever your process is, even if you don't trade any way similar to how we trade, if you could do what we do here in your own process, then there's just that much more confidence that you have in it because, again, when you review, you see that the markets do the same thing over and over. And then it's your job as an athlete of the marketplace, as MP would call us, to execute the trade. But thanks for joining. And that's a great question. That is a great question.
Very good question. Someone saying, gating FX, buy gold now. All right. That's great. One thing, and let's go back to gold on the daily. Are we under that VWAP from the breakout?
We are kind of right at it. Let's take a look. What Coach Paul is talking about is we had this consolidation in gold after making an all-time high in April. We sat under it for a while, so we're anchoring a VWAP to September 2nd, which was the candle that broke above it. We're pretty much sitting at it, 39.46. We're trading at 39.41. You froze there, Coach Paul.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I froze. I'm like, there it is. So, yeah, go ahead and buy it, but don't get stubborn.
Closed under it for the first time since we printed it.
It's going to be a big night. The gold's this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
But just like anything, if you're going to buy it or sell it, what is the number one skill that you need?
Risk management.
Manage your risk. You're a risk manager.
Absolutely.
But nice call. We'll see. But just that weekly chart, just for me, that's the one you look back and go, why the fuck didn't I sell it up there?
Yep. Absolutely. 4,400s, 2 points, all this buying, right? Everyone's so convinced about gold. We're going higher. We're going to 5,000. If we're going to 5,000, there wasn't anybody in the world who wanted to buy 4,400s. Come on now. Come on now.
Well, that's why we have markets.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
and a 10% correction off of that all-time high so far. Interesting times. Tonight is going to be a fun night to trade gold. Join us for slow markets. Crude oil. We're not talking about this.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's that white line?
The 200 moving
held
average.
Below that?
Yes, we did.
But where we stopped the 20 moving average. Look, we're caught in between the two. That's all I need to say.
All right, there we go. Caught in between the 20 and the 50. 20 and 200 you're looking at?
Yeah, on the half hour, we're still under the 200.
Oh, see, now that is a little more interesting here. Because we've been talking about how difficult of a day trade crude has been. This looks just like that gold chart.
Yes, it does.
Less volatility, obviously, because crude is more range bound, but a same technical setup here, right? Where we're under the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. We got below it yesterday. This is the candle that traded below it. Significant. Why am I framing out this candle? Because this is the candle that traded through and closed below that 200 moving average. We can call that an event. From that event, go ahead, Coach Wall. Yeah, go ahead.
Last week we had that very large buying candle. If you go back a little bit, you'll see all the way not too far. At near that one with the big middle finger pointing at us. Yeah. Now frame that out, and really, we held, and I'll put a VWAP on that.
Who he definitely sold. Coach Paul definitely sold crude oil.
So, well, yes, in London, look, we got under that range and got under the 200, and we've been holding it. It's not, it just feels very heavy. It's trading heavy. Once again, we got close to that 200. If we put a volume profile from the opening, now that we had that report out today,
Yes, we did.
and we had a rally on it, and it could not follow through. This is pretty heavy action to me. Under the 200, I'm favoring the sell side. And yes, Hoop, I did sell it.
$55 a barrel is the goal. We heard the president
I'm
say.
with the president on this. It's got to go to 55.
Let's get to 55. CFA says, my 6-year-old son is like, Dad, who are you listening to? Coach Jade. That's awesome to hear. That is awesome to hear. Man, teach the kids while they're young, right? They'll be better traders than all of us. Better traders than all of us. Man, we also rejected right at a whole dollar level. And I just really like this. It's just look at whole dollar levels and see how the market responds to it. $61, no buyers above it. Do you take the short? Go ahead, Coach Paul.
That's a really good point. A lot on the commercial side, a lot of deals are made at whole dollar levels, longer term hedging. So the volume comes out of that. It does make it different in the cash side. No one says, "Oh, let's do it at 57, 58."
Right, and when they do, that's something to pay attention to. That's something to pay attention to, right? You might be. Hopefully, we're not losing it with what we're talking about here, right? But Coach Paul, why would somebody who needs to trade a ton of size do it at a whole number level? Why might they be interested in doing it there?
It's easy accounting, and but that in crude, it's even more important. It's commercial, and they're doing size,
right?
And they're not looking to do 1,000 barrels. So yeah, they look at whole numbers, and they don't want to be bothered with specific little. It's very hard for them.
Yeah,
you want to do size, we'll do size market, maybe in the 50s or the 25s, but whole dollar levels are very, very important in that world.
Excel is famously not great with decimal points.
So
you give me a whole number. Give me a whole number.
Go do bonds and they trade in, or bond options trade in 64ths.
Yeah.
And well, now we have Chatty G, but 15 years ago, I got deep into it, and I'll just drop it. It was no fun.
Speaking of bonds, last chart we'll pull up here. Let me make sure we don't have any questions before we do that. Because David asked, did we talk about the 10-year or the 30-year? Not yet. So let's talk about it here. We got a 30-year chart up, Coach Paul. I do have to frame out the highest volume candle that we've had on the year in the 30-year. We haven't talked about this one in a little bit, but with the Fed rate,
because there hasn't been much to talk about.
No, not at all.
It's stuck in the mud. What I found interesting today, it got hit pretty hard.
It did. What's that white line?
On a Fed cut. I'm finished. Wow. That's pretty heavy selling. Technically, what did we get under?
The 200 moving
The
average.
white line.
Yeah, we did, but we've been trading around it so much that is this market even really respecting it? Maybe not, but that is where the aggressive selling started, right under that 200 moving average. It works wherever you apply it, and it works as much as your interpretation of the market's information, right? Nothing works, but everything works also.
Interesting. It picked up. It got under 200. I was watching it. I'm not trading. I wouldn't trade it in front of this FOMC,
Mm.
but it picked up. Well, look. I mean, I've got a flair for the obvious. I've developed that since birth. But no, look. It really picked up speed. And then look at that volume on the Fed announcement. And then we had continuation. So that was big selling. What is that, like 10 times? That's a really interesting. That was on the Fed announcement, wasn't it?
Yeah. This was the I'm on a 5-minute chart here. This was the rate decision, and then this was the press conference starting. Same
Wow.
technical. So okay, so same technical approach. Let the news candle print, attach a VWAP to it. Nice little downtrend. Move from there. Shout out to Cortland. Shout out to Cortland. Cortland, if you're watching, Cortland is an employee with Topstep, and was helping Coach Ray and I run a session, a class that we were doing. And we talked a lot about knowing your business hours for trading. If Cortland was trading, and if he's still trading right now, I guarantee he traded today, because his approach, Coach Paul, we talked about this before, was he only trades treasury products. He only trades the 10-year. We can go to the 10-year, and he only trades it on news days. And
No.
if you take a technical approach that we look at all the time, here's the market's response. That is honestly the cleanest trade out of every market that we've pulled up so far. After
Yeah.
the print. I like that approach.
Yeah, that's good. Really kind of bearish action. Let's look at a daily on that 10-year.
Here we go. Billy says, end the stream right now. Why? Look at it daily.
It's just, even with the dramatic, but that's a pretty big candle. It is a Fed day. Wow. Yeah, that's why I'm not trading it.
Yeah.
Why trade that when you can trade gold?
Safety, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's investing.
Right.
Anyway,
I mean, yeah, gold is the same trade, right? Man.
Yeah.
How many times can
gold's got action.
They can't keep getting away with this. All right, we got one more question. I think we went through the markets. Again, thank you everyone for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button. If this is your first time here, we appreciate you being here. We do this every day, 4:15, usually 4:15 Eastern time. But we started a little early today because, of course, we had a little earnings watch party. Shout out to Jack and Andre for joining us. We got one more question here, though, from Monica. Coach Jay and Paul, can you talk about trading psychology for a bit? Was up 1,600 last night, sat on my hands for 12 hours because of FOMC, but ended up giving back $600 in the last 50 minutes. Let's talk about that a little bit, Coach Paul. Monica was up $1,600 last night, did not trade at all, but in the last 50 minutes of the day, gave back $600. You want to start? You want me to go?
I'll let you start.
All right, cool. So, Monica, every time, and my basketball players used to hate this, but anytime they asked me a question, I would always answer with a question, right? Because I want to know what your process was. What I would say is that you made 1,600, you gave back 600. Maybe you thought you saw another trade opportunity. Great job cutting yourself off at some point. You still made $1,000 on the day, right? So good there. The question is, that $600 that you gave back, is that more than the daily your daily loss limit? And is it more than your average daily winning trade, right? Because we look at trading day to day, but if I'm on average making $300 a day, and at some point I hit a bigger day that it's 1600, I don't automatically just get more drawdown and play with house money, right? We should look, because you should be looking at your account over a longer period of time. So if it's more than your average losses, then I would be a little bit concerned about that, because then you're just, you're just, where does that limit stop, right? If I have a $20,000 account, do I just, okay, I'm gonna, give back 40% of that if I have a $20,000 day, right? So good job cutting yourself off at some point. And I'm curious to know where that number is as far as your average days go. Um, when you say talk about psychology, the second question I would have is, did you actually see another trade setup, or were you trying to make money? And if you saw another trade setup and it turned out to be a losing trade, that's trading, right? We can't determine exactly when a winning trade is going to happen. We just have to put on risk behind an idea that we have, and the market's going to tell us whether or not it agrees with it. Last night, it sounds like the market agreed with you. Maybe today, when you took that trade, the market didn't agree. But when you placed the trade, were you trying to make money, or did you see an actual setup that presented itself? Only cut off because of the close. 1600 just wasn't enough, apparently. It's a great question you got to ask yourself. What is enough? But I think I said it there. But Coach Paul, anything you want to add to that?
Well, here, good day.
Yeah.
You had a good day. I don't know what your average day is, but you picked up the $1,000.
Mhm.
Now, are you angry you gave $600 back? And if you are, was it because you traded greedily?
Yep.
You didn't have a reason. You were just impulse, which is, impulse, greedy. Like, oh, look, I can do more. Maybe I'll get 2,500, and you're not really focused on executing a plan. Total greed. Good. You can put that in your journal.
Yep.
If you're not keeping a journal, Monica, today's the day. Take that anger and be constructive. Understand that you can be up 1,600 and end up 1,000 if that was part of if you were taking trades that you plan for. Plan your trade your plan. Now, you got greedy. You're human. This is the thing you have an opportunity now to learn from that. And put that in your journal. If it's really bothering you, put it in your journal, make a note of why you did it. You said it. Lost process, out of control, minus 600. Put it on your screen. Don't put it in a note. Put it in your journal to review, but put it on your monitor. All right, and learn, and because you didn't do poorly. How many times do we see I was up 1,600, and I've done this,
and my account's gone.
Yeah, and now I'm down 1,600.
Right.
Because I wouldn't give up $100.
Yep.
I want to ask our audience, who's ever done something similar to that?
Yeah. It's like, oh man, if I could just make this extra $50, I'll have a 4-figure P&L instead of $950. And then at some point, you're looking at one of the biggest red P&Ls you've had ever. Was it worth the $50? Coach Paul, I used to use this analogy all the time of if you were walking next to a highway and you found a bag of money. Right? You remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
If you walk next to the highway and you find a bag of money and you pick it up, there's $1,000 in it, and $100 blows out of your hand onto the highway, you're gonna go chase it. It's probably not worth it. Not worth the risk. And that's the way we need to look at trading. And we're doing more than getting lucky when we have good trading results, right? We're not just finding a bag of money in the bushes, right? We're following a process that pays us. So why, if we fall short of the goal, or maybe we give a little bit of it back, do we try to chase everything to get everything back, right? It's Spy Trader says I got to chase that $100. Well, hopefully the roads are shut down or there's a detour sign or something, Spy Trader, because I don't know where you live, but the highways in New Jersey, in New York, I'm not chasing that $100 because that medical bill is a lot more.
Need to get a backpack, says Billy. Oh, and by the way, look at Monica. Look at everybody's been done this, and it's almost, I'd almost say it's universal.
Yep.
And for everyone, including Monica, that's the lesson. That's where you get to make you can make improvements by understanding it. But don't just go, I'm not doing that again. Okay. You literally put it on your monitor. Because it's by the way, if because you said it wasn't part of your trading structure, your plan, it was pure fucking greed. And put that up there.
Yep.
Use those words. Because greed is not good. I don't care what that movie said. By the way, he was supposed to be facetious when he said that. Because greed brings us down. Now, understand that. Next time you feel like getting a little greedy, you'll look at that, and that's for all of us. So, bottom line, learn the lesson, keep improving.
There we go. Good stuff. I think that's a good way to end it, Coach Paul, unless you got anything else.
No, I think we'll just leave it on that one.
Leave it on that. We do have more content for you. Coach Hoop is not doing his class today, but today is Wednesday. So we do have Coach Rain, Coach Vince, 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. Coach Dakota with Slow Markets at 7:30. I'll be joining him tonight. Then we have Aaron with the London Open, and then D with the Euro trade after that. I got to look at a clock or maybe just wait a couple days until we roll back the clocks here because those times may be a little bit off. But make sure you look at the TopstepTV YouTube page, the Topstep YouTube page for those times for the London Open and the Euro trade, or just turn on the bell notifications and you will get notified when we do go live. We appreciate you all being here each and every day. If it's your first time joining, come back, join us, ask us some questions. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already.
One last shout out, Coach Rose Lev. I passed my combine today after a long struggle. Golf clap for you. Awesome.
Let's go. Trade well in that XFA. No rush to get to the real money. Game is just starting. But trade well. Congratulations. That is an achievement for sure. Shout out to Bobby in the chat. What's up, Bobby? All right. We are going to get out of here. Trade well, everybody. Manage your risk. We'll see you next time.